back with another DJI equipment related video. This is going to be like number 3, and this is my second attempt at doing this video. This little video is related to the DJI microphone, the DJI Mic 2 system, which is right here, but then we're going to be talking about the receiver and some other pieces. And then there's this $35 adapter for the Sony E-mount system. This is my old trusty Sony A7C, the original, not the version 2. And this is usually a camera that I bring with me on my travels. And this Osmo Pocket 3 is a camera that I intend to bring with me on my travels. But the idea here is that I can use this one system, this microphone system, and I can use them with both. So here's the receiver, and we'll get into this a little bit. I can use both of these systems together and minimize my need to bring other equipment on my travels. Now, I mentioned that this is my second attempt to do this video, and I'm going to be switching between these two cameras. Yesterday, I took this out of the box. I was very excited to see if it worked, and I found when I went into the editing that the audio levels were not great. Oh yeah, I'm sure this camera angle looks like pure crap, because every time I do a shot from this spot, it always looks like crap. But this is not about crap. One of the things with the DJI Mic 2 that I'm very quickly realizing is that you need to get it close to your mouth and centered to get better quality audio. I said this on yesterday's video, and I don't know if I'm going to use yesterday's video or this, but I will say the benefit of using an adapter versus a 3.5 millimeter cable. You can use a 3.5 millimeter cable, like so on this camera. There's an input right there. So you can just use an old-fashioned cable to connect this to this spot right here. But you could potentially lose quality in the transmission. The cable itself sometimes impacts the audio quality. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong when you're dealing with a cable, right? Maybe the cable's not physically inserted properly. So I'm a big fan of using the hot shoe on the camera. For those of you that don't know, this is the hot shoe. So the way that this works is this thing goes, this is the thing that will connect the adapter. There's a lot of little plastic pieces too, so you have to take that off. And I know these things are all going to get lost. I'm a little bit worried about that. Then you slide that down onto this. Then there's a cover to protect the hot shoe mount. That, and then you pop this in here, like so. And this is a digital interface. One of the things that I mentioned on yesterday's video is that the audio, the screen only faces backwards. So if you are self-filming with the camera, right, you're not going to be able to see the visual monitor for the audio on the receiver. The one bad thing about the adapter is that it's oriented this way. So if you're recording yourself, like, you can't actually see your microphone levels on the camera or on the adapter. So like, I'm like, oh, I wonder if this thing's working. And then the other thing, because I'm just an idiot, when you stop filming, so initially when I plugged it in, let me see if that focuses. You can see right now that the audio is, like, I can see the audio meter, but when it's not recording, you can't see it. So I was like, oh, I wonder if this isn't connecting and if it's not working. I'm going to switch the cameras around now, and we're going to see, now that I did this intro, we're going to see, number one, if this sounds okay, and then we're also going to see if the other one sounds okay on the A7C. Let's switch. I have officially switched to the DJI Mic 2 with the receiver on the DJI, on the Sony A7C, and I could already tell that my audio levels are too low. I'm gonna go handheld. There is this, I'm gonna go handheld. there is a setting, this is way too low, I could already tell. There is a setting apparently on the camera, on the receiver, that will optimize the audio settings for a specific camera. And I selected that, and I'm still noticing that the audio levels are at the middle ground. We'll see what happens. I'm going to actually stop recording like right now. Here we go again, testing it out. I don't think that's going to be any better, honestly. This is really interesting. Why? The gain is up 9. I think I'm going to have to put it up more. And the other thing is that you can't adjust the microphone level on the camera with the digital interface, which is normal. The Sony cameras work the same way. So I've been like Googling. This is way too low. All right, trying this again. Oh, this is looking a little bit better. So I have the gain on the receiver maxed out to 12. That's the highest it goes for this situation, right? So I don't know if it's limited to this camera setup, but the gain on the receiver is now plus 12. And I have the gain on the microphone plus 6. And it's looking a lot healthier now. So it'll be interesting to see how the audio sounds on this, which I'm going to test right now. I may even push it even more. Let me do it handheld too. This is a test of the handheld methodology, which I would never really use. And the audio levels are looking considerably healthier. They look normal and what I'm normally used to. And again, I don't know how that's going to sound, especially with the system that has a 32-bit float. But this looks pretty close to normal. But also the caveat is that when I hold this microphone handheld, I tend to get a lot of pops. So like, obviously I'm not going to be doing this, and I'm not going to put a pop guard on this thing. So this will be interesting. I may have to up the transmitter levels even further. I figured I would change the location somewhat. So I currently have the receiver set to maxed out plus 12 gain. Crazy. And then I have this microphone set to plus 9. So the transmitter is a plus 9. The camera receiver is set to a plus 12. And the audio is looking relatively healthy. Now I'm just going to do some stuff around my kitchen. I'm sure you love having my back turned to you. But let's see how it's picking up me filling up my coffee mug with water. Like environmental conditions, like what is this thing doing? I'm surprised considering how good the direct transmission from the Osmo Pocket 3 to the Mic 2. There's like no issues with that. And this thing is, I'm pumping out the gain. And Sony's tend to run hot with their microphones, especially if you're plugging it into a 3.5 millimeter. So I usually have the opposite issue here where, ooh, that was pretty loud actually. So maybe we'll see. I'm more inclined to push this thing as loud as possible because of the 32-bit float. And I want this thing as far away from my mouth as possible because of the popping of the lips. Let's just see what water sounds like. That was mixed with the coffee, delicious. Ugh. From what I can visually see, the audio looks normal on what I am normally used to when I'm using the Sony series of digital microphones. So this looks normal. And again, that evaluation, that may not be normal, right? That may be normal for Sony product on a Sony camera, but it may not be normal for a wireless microphone system through a third-party service with a secondary digital adapter, which I haven't seen many of those. But this looks a lot better. I'll put this into the bay. If this is the setting that looks, I shouldn't say looks, I should say, does it sound okay? I will wrap it up. So the last test. DJI Mic 2 on a Sony A7C original, not the Mark II model. Current gain on the receiver is plus 12. Current gain on the transmitter is a plus 9. I think based on my test in the kitchen, this audio is acceptable. I would never on a normal microphone system max out the gain like this, but because it's on a 32-bit float, I am more confident that it will not blow out or sound terrible. Let's see if I'm right. Again, as a whole, I'm a fan of this system. Again, the intention would ultimately be, because I have this DJI Mic 2, it comes with 2 microphones. The reason why I bought the 2-pack with the receiver is so when I am traveling with my Osmo, I usually bring 2 cameras. I was bringing my Sony ZV-1 and I was bringing my Sony A7C on trips with me. This saves a little bit more space, and I can switch back and forth. But the idea here is that normally I would bring 2 different microphone systems. I would bring the shotgun digital Sony mic and put that on the A7C, and then the ZV-1 I would have wireless mics attached. This lets me reduce some of the equipment, and the Osmo Pocket 3 by its very nature is smaller, so that also reduces some of the footprint. That's the intention here. I think it looks pretty good, and I think it sounds pretty good, or I think I'm getting it dialed in. But again, if you are a Sony camera user, you should be aware that you're going to have to up the gain on this to make this sound good. Look at where I'm positioning the microphone. If you have questions, let me know in the comments below, right? We're all learning these things together, and I will probably do some searches on YouTube to see if there are similar videos on this, and I will link them below if there are, because, you know, give other people a chance too. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and again, interact. This is the only social media that I'm using, so you know, leave a comment below if you have questions. And many of my viewers are not shy, so say hi. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.